Hey y'all, Simply Logical here, and welcome back to the channel. But either way, thank y'all for joining me for today's video where we're going to be going over the dev diary that just came out yesterday. So I want to preface this by saying I know that this video is a bit early, but that's because I have something exciting planned for tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so that way y'all can watch that. But really quickly, I also want to say that I know it's been a few weeks since I've last talked to y'all, probably 2 or 3 now, but that's because we had some pretty exciting updates come for both Planet Zoo and Prehistoric Kingdom. If you don't know, Planet Zoo just got the America's DLC pack, and Prehistoric Kingdom just had update 14 released, which added babies and ontogeny for every baby that we have in game now. And I did do an overview video for both of those. I'll try and leave a link somewhere around here, so make sure you go and check those out. But anyways, let's get into the dev diary. Okay, so as per usual, I'm just going to pretty much read this verbatim. So starting at the top, it says, "Welcome to the April Development Diary. In case you missed it, update 14 is now available. This enormous update adds baby animals, seamless growth, herding, first person, and a number of other exciting changes. We are currently 30% off on Steam until May 2nd, which is tomorrow. So if you're interested in trying the game, now's a great time." And then it says, "We're also very proud to announce that our adorable mascot, Crowny, now has her very own U2's plushie. Once she's gone for good. So be sure to get your orders in on time." And then after all of that, it moves on to say, "Wow, what a month. Since the update launched, we saw our player count peak at 702 concurrent users, the highest it's been since launching into early access." It may not sound insanely high compared to bigger games, but it tells us that things are going in the right direction. In terms of supporting Update 14, we'll be delivering another patch in the next few days to address some of the remaining issues. Problems like animal teleportation and proving difficult to determine, but we will continue looking into it. We've also hopefully resolved problems with the Epic Games service, so the update should be going live there soon. And then it gives us a quick little snippet about Update 15, which says, "Looking ahead to Update 15, the plan is to release a public test branch version in late June, with the full update coming in July. Since we've only just entered full production on this update, all the imagery below will be done with mock-ups." So with that being said, again, any pictures that you see are all just mock-ups of what will potentially be happening with when this update is live. So the first point it tells us about is animal behavior. Our primary goal for Update 15 is to expand our animals' behaviors, building upon the herding and social groups that were just introduced. The first of these goals will be to make animals look at each other with head IK, greatly improving the sense of realism in shared spaces. Next, we often see feedback wishing that PK's animals would interact with each other. Currently, all species coexist in complete harmony, which has never been our long-term goal. For this next update, we'd like to build upon Update 14's animal awareness systems and support the foundation of combat with two important behaviors: fleeing and threatening. Fleeing, as you might imagine, forces an animal to run away when they're scared. Threatening, however, uses a new animation to show an animal firmly standing their ground. Combined with the angry vocalizations from Update 14, we hope to get quite a bit of dynamism out of animal encounters. Now, beyond scaring away potential predators, threatened animations will be especially useful for socially competitive competitive animals like the Triceratops, giving them a way to challenge the herd leader and influence their own social hierarchy. Less competitive animals like the Dryosaurus, however, will passively establish their hierarchy in the background, opting for whoever is the largest. And then it goes to talk about Paleoflora. Paleoflora is a new gameplay mechanic that aims to reward players for using foliage from the correct geological era. Typically, this boils down to using Cenozoic plants for mammals and our brand new Mesozoic plants for dinosaurs. Unlocking the past. At the start of a challenge game, players will only have access to modern day Cenozoic plants. All the essentials you've come to know and love. This is great news for all the mammals in your park, but not so much for the dinosaurs. Luckily for them, the excavations menu is going to include Paleoflora sites from all over the world. Players will need to send out science teams and recover enough material to unlock 35 different species of extinct plants across all 8 biomes. Once unlocked, players will be able to find their newly discovered plants in both the modular building menu and the revised landscaping menu coming in Update 15. There are a lot of variants coming with these new species, so creative players will have plenty to work with. Adding Paleoflora. Inside an animal's info menu, you'll find the Paleoflora bar. As you might guess, this bar fills up by using plants from the correct era, depending on when an animal lived. Unlike other requirements, like the forest or water needs, Paleoflora has no minimum value. Think of it more like a bonus to get the most out of your enclosures. Getting it wrong won't make your animals upset, but you'll be missing out on the key benefits that come with a high level of Paleoflora, which include an ecology bonus point. Increase the rating of your animal with an ecology bonus by getting its Paleoflora bar over 50%. Browsing enrichment. Herbivores gain additional enrichment when browsing from foliage in habitats with high Paleoflora. And wellness increase. Once disease is added in a later update, high levels of Paleoflora will reduce how susceptible animals are to environmental diseases. Now, that one I'm pretty excited to see. Browsing behavior. Browsing is a new enrichment behavior coming in Update 15 that will allow herbivores to gain stimulation from grazing on bushes and trees. The more era appropriate the foliage in their habitat is, the more enrichment they'll receive. And since browsing is not a substitute for feeders in challenge mode, we plan to include a sandbox option that allows herbivores to gain food while browsing, making them self-sustaining as long as they've got plants. This has been a highly requested feature from the community, so we're excited to finally work on it. I'm excited for it too, to be honest. Dietary requirements and new feeders. As one of the last notes for this dev diary, we've got some dietary changes coming in Update 15. First up, if an animal eats multiple diets, they're going to need them in the habitat to be happy. Meaning, if an animal is an omnivore, it will need both, like, its plants and meat. And if it eats insects and fish, then will need both of those as well. Anyways, going back to the dev diary, it says this change is meant to stimulate the logistics economy by making lesser used diets like fruit, fish, or insects more of a requirement rather than a suggestion in challenge mode. Exactly how many of the diets an animal wants in a habitat will be determined per species, with some being pickier than others. To help ease players into this new approach, we're going to be introducing a couple new feeders. The team is aiming to include small food trays, faux meat or fish carcasses, and faux logs with fruits and insects to make your habitat planning more engaging. We hope to show how these look in a dev diary closer to release. I'm excited for some more enrichment items, which is what that is telling me that they're adding are some more enrichment because currently we only have the termite mound and I think the frozen blood pumpkin. Moving on to the last bit of the dev diary, Paleobotany. Finally, if your first look at Paleoflora gameplay wasn't enough, we've got a few more plants for you. Below are 2 new species coming to the temperate biome, offering a variety of shapes and sizes. We suspect the addition of a plane tree is going to get a lot of use from builders. And as per always, I am not going to even attempt these names. You can see them on the screen. And last but not least, here's a look at our first tropical plant, a fossil cycad. The variations on this one are particularly diverse. It almost looks like a palm tree. But that's really all we have for this dev diary. It was kind of a short one, but it had a decent amount of stuff in it. I know I'm pretty excited for update 15, knowing that we're going to be getting some more animal interactions and stuff like that. I'm excited to see how that works in the game, and with how good they did with the ontogeny, I have very high expectations for the animal interactions. Let me know what y'all think of update 15 and if y'all have played update 14 yet. And if you have, make sure to let me know what your favorite baby dinosaur is. But anyways, I hope y'all have a great rest of your week. Make sure to leave a like, a subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.